How's it going, Laser Bruce's up? Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Necrobarista. You remember we had to actually leave the episode kind of halfway through a chapter last time because it was running on a little bit too long, and I didn't know when we were going to be getting the words that we were going to pick for the next section. So we're just going to pick up where we left off, and hopefully everything works out nicely. That's what I would like, anyway. Of course, because it's always best when shit works out nicely. 8 o'clock. Yo. Your orders arrived. 3 days late, mate. I got held up by a mutual acquaintance of ours. Ah, shit, that explains why he's in my hair. I'll be there in half an hour. We talking about Ned again? It's gotta be. It's always Ned. Are you serious? This is the end of the chapter? I apologize. The Curator is considered to be a vital part of the hero's narrative. Every hero goes to hell at some point. And in the stories they usually come back, which is the bit that seems weird to me. I don't think that's how it works in real life. The cafe has a bunch of heroes come through claiming they were going to conquer hell and come back. They never returned as far as I saw. The idea of Curator is that, in the grand scheme of things, hell or the underworld, or Hades or whatever you want to call it, anyway, it's on the outside of wherever we are, like we're trapped inside the sphere and we leave it to go to hell. Did the ancient Greeks ever consider that maybe we've been on the outside the whole time, just waiting to get in? Maybe they did. Matter of perspective. I guess I'll ask someone sometime if I ever meet one. But perhaps we're just waiting our entire lives for this, to pass through the firmament to the next place. To be driftwood that washes up on the shore of whatever the next place actually is. Seems weird, but maybe that's where we're naturally meant to be. I'm thinking it's possible that this world isn't some sort of proving ground or anything. Maybe it's just a waiting room. A beautiful, flawed, complex waiting room. Personally, I don't think there's anything like heaven or hell waiting for us. No judgment either. The world doesn't operate in binaries or absolutes. It's just flawed human thinking projected onto things that are much, much more complex than they can ever perceive. And I don't think what's waiting on the other side is something that we can conceptualize. I bet it's cool. It's a shame it's a one-way trip though. True that. I think that's what most people are worried about, the fact that it's a one-way trip. Alright, well I guess we're gonna pick our words. Oh, lots of choice. Castles. Yeah, I think you can get a pretty good idea of the kind of person I am based on the words I pick, I imagine. Let's go with minor demon, semi-immortals, bowl of peas. Oh crap, I didn't mean getting used to it. I want bowl of peas, thank you. Bowl of peas. Standards of accountability. Neutral. We get one more. Oh, 100 years, obviously. 100 years, Rick and Morty. 100 years. Ashley. Law. 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 Oh my god. Shay. Law. Food. Turns out I picked lots of law. If we were hurting for law, we're not anymore. It rhymes. Oh Jesus. Alright. Unlock. Read, here we go. Nice free ones. Teenage boy approached the counter. Shoulders slumped forward, head down, eyes on the ground, up until the moment he looked up to order a drink. He was old enough that he could have passed for a young adult with a better presentation, but the posture coupled with the oversized backpack he was wearing were a dead giveaway. Irrespective of his age, he was still just a kid. Can I get a Coke? An order befitting of a kid. Yeah, I think we can manage that, said Maddie. Think fast, said Shay. Maddie turned around just in time to see an aluminium can hurtling towards her. She almost caught it. The can rolled back towards Shay, who scooped it up off the floor. He hesitated a moment before setting it on the counter. No ice, right? Said Shay. The boy nodded. No. Or, yeah. Yes to no ice. Shay cracked open the can and poured it into a waiting glass, which he then slid down the counter, pushing it gently enough that it came to a rest in front of the teenage boy. The boy grabbed the glass. Thanks, he said. He glanced around the room. If you're looking for a place to sit, there should be plenty of seats upstairs. The boy nodded and headed for the stairs, drink in hand. Plenty of seats down here too, said Maddie, turning to Shay. Yeah, said Shay. But I think upstairs is more Tuan's pace. What'd you just call him? Tuan, said Shay. People have names, you know. That's the problem with having regulars, said Maddie. People expect you to remember their names. Though, now that I think about it, Tuan probably wouldn't mind finding out that you don't know his name. Can't have your name on Maddie's shit list if she doesn't know it. Should he be on my shit list? Said Maddie. Nah, he's harmless, said Shay. Maybe a bit susceptible to peer pressure, but I think that's why he comes here. To meet with peers. To meet with people who aren't his peers, said Shay. How many glum teenagers do you see around here? Too many, said Maddie. Maybe not enough, said Shay. Please tell me you don't actually mean that, said Maddie. Teenagers have the highest noise to spending ratio of any demographic. Not the glum one, said Shay. And if I were a glum teenager trying to find my place in the world or trying to carve out an identity for myself, I can imagine a worse place to do it than right here. Teenagers can be glum somewhere else, said Maddie. Whatever happened to proper teenage delinquency? Be careful what you wish for, said Shay. We've been mercifully delinquent-free for a while now. Proper teen delinquents don't loiter in coffee shops, said Maddie. They always set things on fire, spray paint alleyways and stay out past curfew. Does the city have a curfew for minors? It should, said Maddie. Teens need to be able to break rules. And all the better if committing acts of vandalism at 11 PM gives them a 2-for-1. Maybe they should avoid delinquency and just stick to general mischief, said Shay. Oh no, said Maddie. We already have plenty of mischief around here, ever since Ashley set up shop. Got it, said Shay. Next time I see Tuan, I'll tell him he needs to be committing more crimes. What'll he do if he actually takes your advice? He won't, said Shay. Peer pressure only works if it's from a peer. Someone my age telling him he'll be cool if he starts swiping liquor won't do much to assure him that becoming a thief is the ticket to popularity and acceptance. So find another teenager to tell him. I'll keep my eye out, said Shay. Alright, let's see if we can actually find a new one to activate. I'm very hopeful. We've got a lot of lore now. I'm not sure if that's going to be helpful or not, but it's going to do something. What do we got? We can do this one. Funeral. I've been thinking, said Keyshawn. Uh-oh, said Maddie. About the people I've left behind, said Keyshawn. Well, I'm not going to see any of them again. One of them could be about to walk through that door, said Maddie. Don't taunt me with possibilities, said Keyshawn. You brought it up. Yeah, well, he slumped over in a funk. Death has a real finality to it, you know? Yeah, it does, said Maddie. That's death. The travel from life to death is a very one-way street for all but a few individuals, and if you're standing here, then it's a bit late for chest paddles. I guess I'm thinking more about the fact that I'm not going to see any of my old friends again. Not as long as they're alive, anyway. It does tend to be how death works, said Maddie. I hope you're not surprised. Not surprised, said Keyshawn, but also, I wouldn't have been surprised if that wasn't the case, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure on at least one occasion I've threatened people by saying, I'll haunt you, and now that's never going to happen. Pity, said Maddie. You could have been someone's grudge ghost film. Guess that one's confined to the annals of Japanese horror cinema. Hey, said Keyshawn. I was wondering, do you think there's any way for me to see what's going on at my funeral? Don't, said Maddie. Alright, said Keyshawn. I just thought, you know, it's kind of everyone's fantasy, right? See what people have to say about them after they've passed. Wouldn't you want to see what's going on at your own funeral? I think it's none of your business what goes on at your funeral, said Maddie. Really? Said Keyshawn. I mean, I think it's pretty common for people to plan their own funerals. At least, if they go late enough that they can see it coming. You know, I'd like to have my brother deliver a eulogy. Don't let them play any Barry Manilow songs, that sort of thing. Maddie blinked. Do you have a problem with Barry Manilow? No, I have no particular opinion on the man or his music, said Keyshawn, but a lot of people who are old enough to be planning their own funeral do. You can make your plans, but whatever unfolds at the funeral is up to those who attend it. Keyshawn blinked. What about the wishes of the dead? Thought you'd have a bit more sympathy for their interests considering how often you interact with them. I care plenty about the dead, said Maddie. You were asking about funerals. Funerals are for the living, my friend. Keyshawn opened his mouth to respond, but cut himself short. I never thought about it that way. I'm not sure what to say. If you're short on words but high on energy, you can expend some of that energy by carrying this box upstairs, said Maddie, gently kicking a large cardboard box that was resting underneath the counter. There's an alcove next to the bookshelf that would make a good home for this box. Kishan picked up the box, grateful for something to do with his hands. It was heavy enough that he had to make sure to lift with his legs and not with his back, but not so heavy that he felt out of breath by the time he reached the top of the stairs. He's dead. Should it matter? His breathing was heavy, but not laboured. It was a good feeling. Kishan set the box down at the spot Maddie had designated and sat down for a moment, waiting for his heart rate to return to normal. It felt good to feel his heart beating inside his chest. This is how it feels to be alive, he thought to himself. Damn, I'm gonna miss it. Alright. Can we activate any more, or are we out? Let's do it. Man, we have to pick our words better. Here we go. Day 2, 8:15 PM, outside the terminal. Ugh, I don't have the energy for this. Maddie's been running on empty for several days now. Especially with everyone watching me. I hope he's packed enough conductors. My order form was pretty vague. I shouldn't be worrying about the conductors when I'm not even sure I can pull the whole thing off without some sort of major screw-up happening. Supplier knew I wanted the conductors, what I wanted the conductors for anyway, so he would have packed enough. A good supplier knows enough about their clients to anticipate their needs. There's a certain amount of nosiness that is polite. And he knows that I've got Ashley helping me. Helping you with what, Madeline? Not you again. Piss off, Ned. Rude. You're gonna follow us? You should respect your elders, you know. Ned is a young man, even by the standards of semi-mortals. Is not a young man, even by the standards of semi-mortals. God, listen to you. The council made you soft, didn't it? Oh, respect your elders? Follow all our totally arbitrary rules, or make up some cheap reason to destroy your business. My name's Ned and I love rules. You done? Yep. Cool. You sound wounded. A steel chest plate can save you from a bleeding heart, but not a bruised ego. You should be nicer. Wow, sick comeback. What was it that guy you killed said? Oh Christ, I'm shot. Oh no, woe is me. Just a little throwback humour for you. Did I strike a nerve? Did I just what? Maddie? When Ned spoke next, it was in a deep, dark cadence, steeped in guilt and self-loathing. If Maddie had been able to see his eyes, she would have faced a withering glare. We're rapidly reaching a point of no return. I can no longer promise to shield you from the consequences of your actions. What you did just there, quoting one of my victims' dying words at me, that was low. Even for you. Frankly, I'm disgusted. You dare poke at my guilt? You dare? Let's talk about your guilt, shall we? About guilt, shall we? I don't suppose you might have anything weighing on your conscience right now, would you? As I thought. They may still weigh heavily on me, but I'm absolved of my sins. Some moral debts, a lifetime to work off. Ned's had more than a few lifetimes. I've had 100 years to process that, and to redeem myself through my actions. You? Your sins are fresh. They're lance marks on your soul, deep cuts in your aura. Swallow your arrogance, novice. I know what you did. Maddie's sins weigh heavily on Ned's mind. They weigh even heavier on hers. And I can't wait to see how you plan to make this right. What did she do? Episode 5, Rainy Moods. What the hell did she do? Day 2, 8:30 PM, the terminal. Oh, it's a hoppin'. It's busy. Tuan, age 16. Thinks he's smart. Not antisocial, just shy. Read a bunch of Wikipedia articles on optometry and considers himself somewhat of an expert. As you do these days. Hannah, age 16. Knows she's too smart for her own good. Hobbies? People watching. Self-indulgent teenager angst, taking advantage of the fact that she's too smart for her own good. So I'm not sure that alcohol actually makes you feel anything. In fact, going by its chemical properties, I'd say it's the opposite. Shut up, dork, we're planning a heist. Metaphysical debates about alcohol can come after. but it isn't metaphysics. I'm just talking about simple chemical interactions with our brain. Tuan is a guy who has the look of someone who knows more about chemical interaction than human interaction. Please take the energy you're putting into pedantry and redirect it towards the plan. Anna is a girl who is ordinarily down for wordplay, but right now she's too busy with physical shenanigans to have time with verbal shenanigans. The plan? The plan. What's the plan? I was thinking I could just reach over the bar and grab the first bottle I see. Sounds risky. Very chaotic neutral. And what's your alignment then? Neutral good? Uh-huh. I'd say I was lawful neutral, but that's the coward's option. Yeah. But getting back to the plan. Oh. Using your pedantry to distract you was absolutely part of the plan. Wow, so little faith in me. Gotta minimize liabilities here. And it's still learning to trust this guy. He doesn't have the look of an interloper, but he can never be too safe. You're out here playing checkers while I'm playing 6-dimensional upside-down laser chess. Shit. I've galaxy brained this, and now I'm holding the fruits of my labor. Don't you mean our labor? If you insist. Give me a closer look at that. What sort of fruit do we pluck from the booze tree? From the booze tree? Really stretching that metaphor out, huh? Yep. I don't recognize the language on this label. What? Let me look. Oh, it's not the soul juice, is it? What the hell? I don't recognize it either. Maybe it's a cipher. A cider. A cider is made from fermented apple juice. A cipher is made from fermented word juice. It'd make you read a cipher just to know what you're drinking. A sadist. Oh, we can ask Maddie what it is. She's a sadist, right? What do you call someone who enjoys the empathetic pain they feel from hurting others? Yeah, that sounds great. Let's go find her the... Apart from the fact that we specifically nicked it from her. Oh, right. You mean to be the lawful one here, dude. We agreed on neutral good. Me not challenging your assertion does not make it an agreement. Regardless. Wait, hold on. I sense a dark presence. Do you feel it? No, I don't feel anything particularly spooky in the air. Yeah, me neither. Busted. Hello, children. I see you've stooped to petty thievery. Some of the bottles on that shelf are old enough that swiping them would be an act of grand theft. Not this one, however. Alas, sprung. Can't believe my heist career was over so quickly. Oh, don't give up on your dreams, kid. Speaking of, you know what happens when you drink this? I was assuming some sort of drunkenness. Does it make your teeth fall out? Well, last time I had a shot of this, I woke up in Adelaide. Wow. So the result was 700 kilometers worth of drunkenness and bad decisions. But I woke up 6 hours before I took the shot. Had to drive a rented car back to explain to Shay why I disappeared without a trace and how I accidentally time traveled. Holy shit, can we give it a try? No. You ever heard of liquor license laws? I'd end up in jail. I think it'd be an excellent formative experience. Yeah, if you're not perpetuating teen drinking culture, you're a loser. Somehow I remain unconvinced by your passionate arguments. Well, we tried. You kids have way too much time on your hands, you know that? Better than not having enough, right? I utilize my time to practice my skills. It is not wasted. Well, the non-existent industry sector that relies solely on the skill of reaching over bars and stealing bottles of enchanted booze is going to be lucky to have you. Oh, that's so validating, thanks. Can I get you two a coffee or anything? Hot chocolate? I'm kind of busy tonight, but I'm hoping that bribing you with free drinks will stop you from nicking my shit. I'll take a free drink. I feel guilty taking one, since it was all Tuan's idea. Hey! But I'll graciously accept your offer. Neat, what'll it be? Hot chocolates for both of us? Hot chocolates for both of us. Alrighty, 2 hot chocolates coming up. Seriously, don't steal anything else when my back's turned or I'll feed you to a spite elemental. I wonder. Spite elemental? Maybe it's a metaphor. Is she saying she'll eat us? Is she the spite elemental? Oh no. Maybe the real spite elementals were the friends we made along the way. I hate this. Fair. The real spite elementals were the friends we made along the way. Who do we have here? Samantha, age 32. American? Visiting Melbourne for work. Devastatingly patient. Trust me, you kids don't want to meet a spite elemental. Have you? Yep. Got pretty close to not making it out alive. I guess you're in a fairly exciting line of work then. This woman's line of work might seem intriguing to someone looking in from the outside, but to her, it's all business. I guess it gets that way sometimes. But spite elementals aren't exciting. They're terrifying. They suck all the air out of a room and make the world ache. And they don't die easily. Huh? It's kind of metal. You sure do need brass balls to face one down, that's for sure. And a steely gaze? What? Because steel is a metal and I said it was metal and then you mentioned brass balls, so... Hannah, please back me up. Nope, you brought this on yourself, mate. No. Nah, she's totally right. Ugh. What's going on here? You bullying my customers, Samantha? Of course not. Good, because that's my job. You two should go easy on go easy. You two should go enjoy the evening. There's a nice breeze blowing. You remember my name? That's sweet. Sweet isn't a word that people often use to describe Maddie. That's the kind of remark that says more about a person who's talking than the person they're talking about. Of course I did. You're interesting. Doesn't that describe everyone who walks through your doors though? Absolutely not. Especially not in the way you are. Some people would take offense to that. Your boss, must be very different to mine. Well, my old boss, I guess. I'm my own boss now, actually. Maddie thinks she can make it all on her own. She just might turn out to be right. Apologies, your approach to hospitality work is very different from what I'm used to, is what I'm trying to say. Figures, where'd you work? Just some dive bars overseas. Wretched hum of hive of scum and villainy. Jesus, I can't English today, I'm sorry. The owner would never shut up about treating every client like royalty. Sounds like a pain in the ass if you ask me. I'm not asking actually, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless. So can I get you anything? Surprise me. You'd like me to pick you something? Yeah. Mind if I ask you a couple of questions? Are they related to the drink? Yep. Shoot. Okay. What's your favourite white wine? You're not making me a wine cocktail, are you? Haha, no. I'm partial to a glass of Marsanne every now and then. Fancy. Next question. Have you ever read a star chart? Like in astrology? No. Why? I don't put any stock in mysticism. Hey, this place isn't mystical. To some people, this place seems otherworldly. For others, this is just the world they live in. It's built out of cold, hard facts. I just don't know them all yet. Alright, fair enough. Last question. You're walking in the shallows of an ocean that seems to go into the distance forever. You can't see any land aside from the sand under your feet. Whenever you step forward, the sand sinks just a little bit. As far as you can see, there's no way to escape. Drowning is the only possible outcome. What do? Now I feel like you're about to pull out some Voight-Kampf machine or something. It's obviously some sort of test. I run, I swim, I dive when I can. And if I eventually drown, so be it. There's nowhere else to go and no point to sitting and waiting for starvation or sharks or someone to save me. I have to take action. Interesting. So what's the verdict? Samantha didn't get a response. Maddie's eyes glazed over as soon as she'd answered the last question. Now she stood perfectly still, gazing intensely at the rows and rows of dusty bottles lining dustier shelves. Her lips moved, but no words came out. As Samantha watched, a flask of red liquor twitched, seemingly of its own accord. Maddie craned her neck up at it and scowled. In response, a smaller bottle next to the first, and surely only big enough to hold a few drops of something, began to glow. Her scowl shifted to a wry smile. Please, you don't need to open anything new on my account. I didn't know she had powers. Gotcha. When did you develop powers? Your answers were interesting. Coming from some people, that might sound like a non-committal remark, but coming out of Maddie, it might be the most effusive praise you ever get. So were your questions. I'm still having a little trouble figuring out how they relate to each other though. Is that important? I try to maintain a vague hope that maybe one day things might make sense. And until then, I just try to go with the flow, of course. Sorry to try to psychoanalyze you there. Try? Do you think you failed? No. What's the verdict then? Well, for one, you tend to accept things as you see them. You don't try to interpret things based off unrelated frameworks or thought patterns. That said, you do try to make sense of the connections between things when you can. Maddie's pretty sure she has all the pieces. She found that putting all the pieces together requires a bit more effort. But it's no big deal to you if you don't. You just mark it as an unknown variable and move on. And that reads to me as an intensely pragmatic approach. Would you agree? I suppose. You're the sort who doesn't buy drinks to enjoy them. You buy them as camouflage. If you're experienced with pretending to be something you're not in order to blend in, you might develop a talent for recognizing when others are trying to do the same. To hide your face behind... to project a veneer of being untouchable while you watch. Watch what? Everything, I suppose. You take everything in the same way I do. You're saying that I'm attentive, but that I don't worry about instantly understanding how things are interconnected. Because you're confident that eventually you'll understand it anyway. How do you figure that? You've been watching my hands this whole time. Is that weird? To watch an attractive bartender mixing a very fancy looking cocktail? To appreciate a craft? No. But given just how interested you are in what my hands are doing, I'd wager you've got some experience in my field. So, you're really bad at picking up on when you're being flirted with, or...? It's fine, sweetie. In fact, it's pretty cute. I meant in alchemy. The field of alchemy. Uh-huh. I'm sure you're very accomplished in alchemy. Just take the drink. Shit, this is really good. Yeah? Too good to ignore, yeah. It's smoky but bittersweet, and it's the contrast with the bitters that really makes you appreciate the sweetness, or is it the other way around? It almost makes me feel like I'm reaching the end of something. Like I've got a lump on my throat from saying goodbye, but I can't quite tap into that feeling. Like, what did you even put in this? Mezcal? Artichoke bitters? Gold heart bitters? And a slice of gorilla lime. Gorilla lime? That can't be a real thing. It's just hard to acquire. Called that because if you bite into one, it feels like you got punched by a gorilla. Physically? No, emotionally. Ah, makes sense. I'm not a wizard. Prove it. Ah. That guy the boss you mentioned? Yeah. He good to you? I'm sorry? Does he treat you well? Yeah. To a fault, actually. Far past the point where it's rational for him to still be nice to me. No one's ever accused old Shay of being rational. That doesn't stop him from trying to be the voice of reason. Good. Actually, I'm sorry, that reminds me. I have to dash. I've got some setup work for a project to finish before the sun comes up. Maddie rarely engages in careless shenanigans, so when she's up to something, you best be on your guard. But without you here, who will enable my latent alcoholism? You can just reach over the bar and grab the gin. Tonic's in the bar fridge. Will do. She's awesome. Come back soon though. I'd love to discuss alchemy with you some more. Catch you later. Wait, one last thing. What was the meaning behind the question about what wine I liked? Oh, I was just curious. That's the last one, I reckon. Does it have the magic caps in it? I think so. You can just call them caps, you know. They're built for something different. I refuse to use non-specific language. Aha. Yeah, they're in here. Okay, what about the thing? You have to be a little more I thought you refused to use non-specific language. Oh, you know, the thing. Sparky thing. Ashley likes having friends who can understand her even when she fails to be specific. Electric. Sweetie, how long have you been awake? It's better for you if you don't know, I think. Do you mean the voltage regulator? That's the one. Good job. It's in one of the other boxes. I don't think we needed another one though. Are you kidding? The last one literally melted. It's a good thing I have an extremely sick metal arm, otherwise I would have been badly injured. Ashley's metal arm is a point of pride. She wouldn't trade it for anything. Not even the arm that it replaced. Yeah, thank goodness. Is there anything missing? I shall check. Need some espresso? I think I will literally die if I have any more. That's really mature of you. Nice job. Yeah, whatever. You can give me some chocolate if you want. Don't tell Ashley that chocolate has trace amounts of caffeine. At least it's not more espresso. Sure thing. Be back in a moment. Oh, hey dude. Where you been? Hey. Just chillin'. Not much to do when you're waiting to die. Hey. Come on, Cooper. I know you're hiding down there somewhere. Hold this, will you? Did Ned really say that? Yeah. Do you believe it? I'm not sure. Well, it's not a lie. The most dangerous lies are the lies we tell ourselves. But it's not the whole truth either. And I don't quite have the time to untangle it for you. Maddie's the sort of person to weave tangled webs without too much consideration for who's going to have to untangle them. I've got a hungry teenager downstairs and a summoning ritual to complete. Ah, she's a part of this too. Don't you take that judgy tone with me. Hey, far be it from me to moralize at you. Getting a lot of that these days, mate. I'm just trying to keep everyone happy. Tough gig. I'll say. Alright now, have you consulted these two wires? No, not those ones. Bloody hell. Who programmed you? Bet she's a jerk. Incredibly intelligent, but a very bad programmer. Ashley has learned how to program exactly the minimum amount she needs to, and not one iota more. You're talking about yourself, right? What? Stop throwing knives. Wow. You're really out of it, huh? Where'd you even pull this from? Leg holster? You aren't wearing a leg holster. Arm holster? Your prosthetic? It holds 6 million knives. Don't question me on this. I'm the expert here. Hey, need a hand? Dude, you should check yourself before you fucking wreck yourself. No, that's not what I meant. Oh. Yeah, I guess you can help. Before I ask what you need, what are you even doing? Maddie mentioned a summoning circle? Something like that. You ever wanted to live forever? I'll trade that for just having a second chance, honestly. Wow. Grab me that box, please. You can't just leave that hanging like that. Watch me. And while you watch me leave you hanging, you can go get that box. Good plan. Thank you. Yeah, so, this is really heavy. What's even in here? 100 meters of heavy gauge copper cable. In a basement full of magical items, the copper wire might be the thing most in danger of being stolen. It's easier to flip, at least. That's true. Bunch of capacitors that I'm going to wire together soon. And some various bits and bobs. That's why people always steal the hot water cylinders out of abandoned houses around here. Because it's full of copper wire. That would definitely explain the weight. Oh, there's also a bunch of clamps. So, what do you need? Validation. Chocolate. Coffee. A school system that doesn't punish me having weird niche interests. I meant more, communism. Ashley is a real party girl. I don't think I can get you communism, sorry. And isn't Maddie already getting you chocolate? You're a terrible comrade, Keyshawn. If I wasn't close to hitting the LD50 of caffeine, I'd ask you for some coffee. So all you can do right now is give me that sweet validation. Okay. Your real thumbs up? Good human? I don't know what sort of validation you want here. Thumbs up. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop of trying things that are inevitably going to fail, and I don't know how much of it is my fault for not being good enough at the monumentally difficult task. I really can't talk today. I'm used to being effortlessly good at things, but I feel like my brain is full of bees on this one. And can I deal with failure? I don't think I can. I'm not equipped for failure. My entire perception of myself is that I'm good at things. I'm gifted and talented and incredibly afraid that I'm going to let people down at a vital moment. This is that vital moment. But I just sit here, paralyzed. And I rationally know that a lot of this pressure is just me being hard on myself. And I rationally know, but Maddie and I, we tried this already. And it failed pretty badly. It was a disaster. For Ashley, of all people, to call something a disaster, it must have been a real catastrophe. I can't understate how badly it turned out. So even with all the prep I'm doing, is this enough? Did we learn enough to do it properly? Numbers and formulas are hard science are good, but I can't shake this feeling that I'm going to screw it up for everyone. And I'm so afraid of letting Maddie down. There are few things we fear more than disappointing the people we love most. It's true. That's heavy as shit, mate. You reckon? Fully, yeah. I don't know what to say to that, except that I don't think Maddie would ever feel let down by you. I know I've only been here for like 2 days, but her and Shay seem to really care about you. And I'm sure that extends to accepting you for who you are, limitations and all. Though honestly, I think you give off a pretty strong vibe of not giving a shit about your limitations. Or that you indiscriminately power through them with some sort of raw caffeine-fueled fury. Anyway, you're immensely powerful and I'm terrified of you. Fair enough. I was never really super smart or gifted or anything. Sometimes the people who think they're not gifted were just never made aware of their gifts. Everyone's gifted at something. I just floated through school and work and never focused on much except having a good time. I can definitely imagine the sort of pressure you'd have on you though, especially given how big the task is. Yeah. So, while I can't say for sure that this thing is going to be easy or even successful, in the terminal it can feel like nothing is easy. Even Sunday mornings come with their own set of trials and tribulations. I do think it's important that you work on giving yourself a break from the weight of your own expectations. But it's not an easy thing, I'm sure. But my boyfriend is similar. He's very hard on himself when he feels like he's letting himself down. So, it doesn't go away? I don't think so. I just think it gets easier to deal with as you learn to be more empathetic to yourself. Self-forgiveness and all that. It's often hardest to forgive someone when you're aware of all their flaws. It definitely took him a good few years to even begin to be able to deal with his self-imposed shame. I guess I can try that. You can try that. Or you can continue to feel super bad about yourself all the time. I mean, when you put it like that, right? I hate how rational you sound. I know, I'm disgusted at myself. Here comes Maddie. Sup, nerds? What's going on in this thread? What? You're suddenly in a good mood? I maybe ate some of your chocolate. Maybe Maddie ate some chocolate. Maybe grass is green. Oh, I swear to God, if there isn't any left. Yes, we've been over this before. You'll comprehensively murderize me. You'd hate it if someone failed to be comprehensive when they went about murderizing you. I've seen some incomplete murderizing attempts and they ain't pretty. Don't worry, I only ate a little bit. Excellent. Was this enchanted chocolate or just normal chocolate? What about unenchanted dark chocolate? Where does that fall on the normal, abnormal chocolate spectrum? Does he deserve to know? I don't know. I kinda like the mystery. It's completely normal chocolate, isn't it? Maybe. Maybe not. Can I have some then? Come on, you owe me. For what? Helping you set all this up. Oh yeah, that's fair. This is totally normal chocolate. Yeah? Did you expect it to not be that? Well, you implied. We never implied. You came up with that all on your own. Hey. Damn it. Alright, I'm bored. Later, dorks. Don't you run off on me, miss. This Magic bank isn't even half done. We'll do it later. For now, I'm gonna take a nap under the table. If anyone disturbs me... Come on. You'll be happy? Confused? Ticklish? Extra hungry? Oh, mention me on in your diary? Maddie doesn't keep a diary. All those thoughts and memories just stay cooped up in her head. One day she's gonna run out of space. Or sanity. I will exact terrible revenge on both of you later. Geez, that phrase definitely doesn't start with an M. Bye. I'm not being too hard on her, am I? You? Nah, she thinks you're great. Good. I could probably stand to give her a break, though. There are a few people who appreciate a break more than Ashley, especially when it's a break from Maddie. I mean, I'm expecting a lot from her right now. She does seem a little overloaded. Fuck. But she'd tell me if things are too much, right? I don't know. Seems like she idolizes you. Idolatry is a sin, isn't it? It can't be healthy behavior. I reckon she'd pretty happily burn herself out for you, you know? I just need her for the next 4 or 5 hours, then everything will be okay. Is that when you're planning on performing the ritual? This thing? Yeah. What's it for anyway? Conduit ritual. Super forbidden magic. Oh, cool. Are you actually cool with this, or... Not hugely, actually. Why's that? Well, you know, I was talking to Ned earlier and... Actually, don't worry about it. It's fine. I don't care. What's it do? You know how I took a couple hours from you down here? Vividly. This is just a bigger scale version of that spell. Higher capacity. Who are you taking ours from? Nobody. Don't worry, bud. You're at a deficit already. When you get deep enough into the hole, you kind of stop worrying about climbing out of it and just accept your fate. I can't touch you. Right, okay. So even if you're lying right now, shouldn't you have taken enough to pay off your debt multiple times at this point? Huh, the hours went for that. Or maybe it just felt like hours. It can be hard to judge time when you're wandering around aimlessly. We talked about that before. What the hell did you do with them then? Where'd they go? For our research, we used the following materials. Wire of copper, heavily drawn. Jasmine chalk, not Dover? Sustained electric supply of at least 20 volts. Car battery? Capacitors composed of... Need better durability. However, we believe extra components are required. Our conduit's properties varied with the layout of the summoning circle, and despite the departure of our test subject during our trials, we were able to ascertain a number of efficiently oriented refinements. Certain kinds of optimization require a real dedication to craft, as well as the absolute necessity of a living but non-sentient vessel to act as a so-called storage container. More testing is required, though obtaining a willing subject for future methodology evaluations without attracting the attention of the council will be difficult, to say the least. I stored them. Is that what that tree thing is? All those hours are in this tree. Yes, that is what that tree thing is. Good. Oh, thank God. I was hoping we'd push through to this, and then we can go back to doing 1 chapter per episode. I miss eating. Why, what's your diet like? I remember sushi. Sushi? I thought you said you were a crab. What, you think crabs aren't dexterous enough to make sushi? Unquestionably, yes. What is this sushi? It's delicious, is what it is. Rice and fish and seaweed. Humans eat it. And crabs. I don't know where a crab would find rice, or a way to make good sushi. I also ate garbage. Yes, I also ate garbage on occasion. Unbelievable, you two. Unbelievable. Garbage is good for the soul. Garbage is garbage. It's in the name. What did you eat when you were alive then? Grass, just normal grass. Boring. And tree roots sometimes. There are true roots here, yes? Yeah, there are. Why don't you chomp on them? Well, I'm not hungry, we don't eat. And also, more importantly, they are powerfully magical. Maddie needs them. If we damage things that Maddie needs, then Ashy will be disappointed in us. A suboptimal state of affairs. I can feel the power in them too. However, I do not feel compelled to chomp on them. What a strange thought. Love to chomp. Chomp sushi, chomp sandwiches, chomp garbage. It's so weird. Yes, they are. They're all very strange. And I love them all. Especially the one with the wine bottle for a head. Alright, we're up to the words thing, and it's time to wrap this one up. So we're back to normalizing the episodes again, which is good. I'll just make sure that I'll play through to the words each time. And then, no matter how long it is, we know that that's going to work out nicely. You know, for the nice little chunks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.